I learned Spanish in 3 months, literally 3 to 6 months. I mean, at month 1 and 2, I was already like having short conversations. Like it's not a smooth Spanish, but you're speaking. You're getting points across. You can talk to someone. It's difficult, but you're talking, and you feel like, dang, man, I'm actually communicating. This is cool. That's at the 3 month mark. At the 6 month mark, things are a little smoother. Like you'll have like conversations, and then you realize, wait, I'm having legit conversations. They're choppy, but I'm having conversations. Then as the year goes on, it just gets smoother and smoother. And before you know it, you're like, ¿Cómo estás? Estaba ya pensando que you just start speaking naturally. And one day you wake up and you're fluent. That's how learning by immersion works. Immersion is how babies learn Spanish. I'm going to show you how I learned Spanish from the immersion method. A baby, when they're born, they don't speak any language except for goo goo gaga. That's their language. Now the mother starts to talk. She speaks words to the baby. She doesn't speak the baby's language. She only speaks one language to the baby. Let's say it's English. The baby doesn't understand English, but the baby hears English. It hears English every day, because the mom will be like, this is an apple. Apple, you want an apple? And every day the baby's absorbing it through immersion. A baby starts talking at like 1 or 2 years of age, more or less. And then within like a year or two, they become fluent. So that's the immersion method, and that's how adults can. This is the best way to learn another language as an adult, because we still can learn from this method. This is how I learned Spanish through the immersion method, and how you can do it too. So first of all, I got an immersion instructor, which was somebody who's willing to sit down with me 1 to 2 hours a day who doesn't speak English. I did not want a teacher who spoke to me in English. The more your teacher speaks to you in the language you already understand, the more time that they're wasting, because you already know that language. They need to speak to you in one language. My Spanish teacher only spoke Spanish. She didn't even know English. That's what helped me learn so fast, because I was forced to speak Spanish with her through the immersion method. This is how immersion works. When I tell people that you can become a teacher, because even I have friends and family who do teaching also, they always say, well, I don't want to become an immersion teacher because I can't speak 2 languages. I have friends who make good money becoming immersion teachers just by speaking one language, because you don't need to speak their language to teach them a language. And that's how immersion works. You're just immersing your mind with the language by using pictures, showing them objects. Like I can be like, this is a book. And then they hear that and they learn. That's how I learned Spanish. You guys can also teach English that way. If you ever want to move to another country, you become an immersion English teacher, just like the way that you learn Spanish. So what I did is I found this girl. She was from Argentina, and we agreed on a price. It was like $3 or $6 an hour. She would talk to me every day on a WhatsApp call or a Skype. At this time, it was Skype. And 2 times a week, we'd get on a 1 hour call, and she would pull pictures up on the screen. It was really fun. We laugh, have fun, talk about random stuff. It's not like just sit down at a desk and study grammar and study sentences. It's really fun. You're literally just having a conversation with people, laughing because you don't know what they're saying. That's the immersion method. Until this day, you can still get these teachers. You can hire a teacher who's been teaching immersion for a couple years, or you can literally just hire a random person who's never taught immersion and just tell them to talk with you. Be like, hey, can you talk with me an hour a day in full Spanish, and I'll pay you through PayPal or Western Union, and you can do that. Now, if you guys want some connections, I have some teachers I can get you guys connected with later if you're interested. They charge anywhere from $3 to $6 an hour. You'll be paying them. I'm not a middleman. They're just like some of my friends who are looking for more students. I don't earn a cut of that, but that's if you guys are serious and want to learn immersion. So that's how I did it. I took immersion classes for about 6 months or so, and I was already speaking like decent Spanish. But then I moved to South America, and I was just getting immersion all day long in the street, for 10 hours a day. So I kind of stopped taking classes. At that point, I was just listening to Spanish music, walking in the street. I heard Spanish everywhere I went. My only friend I had when I landed in the country where I live in, he only spoke Spanish. And me and him would go out to eat. I paid him to quit his job so he could just hang out with me. And like he was my assistant practically the whole entire day. So within like a year of living in South America and just getting pure immersion every day, that just basically helped my Spanish a lot. Now, the third way, this works really good with the immersion method, is if you study some information too. But most books out there are just made for studying grammar, and they're teaching Spanish backwards. So there's a new product that was created that it's designed to work with the immersion method. So once you start getting your immersion, if you study this one product, it's designed to work along with the immersion process, because you're learning Spanish. You need to twist it. You're learning Spanish backwards if you learn it the other way. You have to learn with immersion and then learn with a product that's designed with the immersion process. Because when you're learning through immersion, there's certain sentences you need to learn first that are going to help you progress. I'll give you an example. The average Spanish book will start off teaching you like how to say, I am a boy, you are a girl. Those are things that you don't really need to learn how to say in the beginning. Because first of all, who would you go up to and say, I'm a boy? The first thing you need to learn is, ¿cómo se dice? Right? That's step one. You need to learn how to say, ¿cómo se dice? Because you're going to be, that means how do you say? Because with that key, you're unlocking so many other learning opportunities. Because now you can just point at something and you can say like, ¿cómo se dice este? ¿Cómo se dice? And then the person who you're with, your teacher, she'll say, este es una, actually, I don't know how to say pillow in Spanish. I forgot to say it. But the book I'm talking about, it gives you a lot of information on the importance of what you need to learn first, combined with the immersion process. I'll link that below. That's on the SpanishNerd.com. It's probably the best Spanish learning product out there for the 2026 method. You can look into it. But the main thing you need to learn is immersion. Just talking with somebody and speaking, you're going to learn Spanish super fast and fun that way. If you want to get technical and you want to progress, like take a shot and learn a lot faster, you can look into the Spanish Nerd. That'll help you. But there's also a lot of good free information out there. Number one, best thing you need to do is just start today. Start watching movies, speaking with people, just listening to music, and take these classes. You can go find someone out there who will teach you on the internet. You can message me. I'll get you hooked up with somebody. But the point is, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, and the second best time to plant a tree is right now. So you don't want to look 6 months from now and you're like, dang, I could have been fluent in Spanish if I would have just started. Because that happened to me. I remember I was thinking man, if I start learning Spanish today, I'll be fluent in a year from now. And I didn't do it. And then I remember a year passed and I was like, dang, I already would have been fluent if I just started. And that's my message to you, is if you want to start, you really will be fluent in Spanish in six months to a year from now. Maybe a little faster if you look at the technical stuff in the SpanishNerd.com. But just through immersion alone, you'll be having short conversations within 3 months. So that's how I learned Spanish. Now I'm at it for 5 years. I have to study some more technical stuff so I can fix my grammar. But yeah, that's how I learned Spanish, and you can do it too. You can learn any language that way. Have a good day, guys, and let me know what you think.